Hello there. How are you? Oh, I can't hear you.
Because I'm muted. Yes, ma'am. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to meet you. How are you?
You too. You too. I am bobbing and weaving with the things of life today.
I
I have two small girls. One is 5 and one is 11 months. And I'm headed to a book writing retreat today. So I got them to grandma's late last night. But then my brother said, Can you watch Dave? Because I have work and the babysitter's closed. So I got rid of two and I picked up one. So I'm just like, okay. So yes, just
rolling with things, I guess.
yeah, yes. But other than that, things are great. I am excited about our conversation today because it's definitely a common thing for the people that I serve, at least when we want to talk about systems and scaling and, where do I put my energy first? And I'm doing all this by myself. How do I get to that 6, 7, 8 figure range? But I'm starting here. I'm by myself, but I see 6, 7, 8
Yeah,
figures in my business, so I'm really excited about today's convo.
me too. And I've been listening. You have such a great podcast and you're such a great interviewer. Like,
Oh,
really, you do such an exceptional job. So
thank
I think
you.
it'll be fun just to have the conversation and kind of take it where it goes.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah,
It
you do a
definitely
really,
does.
really nice job.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, all right. I just jump in. These
Yep.
are going to be edited. And so I think I just put like allergy in my eye. I don't know what's happening right now. I don't know
You
what's
use the
happening.
video or no?
No, it'll just
Okay.
be audio.
All right.
So
That way I know whether to stare at the camera or or not.
no, wait, so let me take that back. I think my VA would probably shake her finger at me because she wants me to do it that way so I can, put it on YouTube and stuff like that.
Got it.
So
Okay.
I'll do it so that she doesn't yell at me. We can
Okay.
we can
I
do
will
it
stare at the
first.
camera.
And I won't go like this the whole time in my eyeball. Awesome. Okay, so is it Grasso, your
Yep.
last name?
Krista
Okay.
Grasso.
Grasso. Okay. So I will just jump in and introduce you. And then my goal usually with these interviews is to highlight the person I'm interviewing. So feel free to talk about how awesome you are and don't feel any kind of way about it. Just go for it. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Oh, last caveat. So I do have the 3-year-old young man in the
Yep.
other room. I'm hoping that he will stay occupied with
Hmm.
Sonic the Hedgehog until we're done. But if not, I will pause myself and just kind of tend to him and then we'll jump right back in.
Awesome. And
So,
I have a new little puppy and he's amazing, but
oh,
sometimes sounds set him off. So
yeah.
I have him occupied. I'm hoping everything is good, but just in case he barks, I pre-apologize and
No
we'll just
worries.
I'll pick right back up where I left off. So
All right. So we're on the same page here. It's all good.
yeah.
Fantastic. All right. So here we go. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Brittany Smith podcast. If you're watching or listening, I'm so glad you're here either way. We have an amazing episode for you, especially if you are in a position where you want more in your business. You know that there's more for you. You have a great vision and you can see on the horizon 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, but you can't quite put together the steps between where you are and where you want to be. This is the episode for you. I have Miss Crista Grasso. She is amazing. And so here's the thing. You might be saying, well, you're just saying that because you're on the podcast. And like, no, I'm reading. When I read her bio, first of all, I was like, oh, snap. This is going to be a real interview. So you guys are in for a treat. She's an international business consultant, Fortune 50 multi-billion-dollar businesses. So she's working with people who are where you want to be. I say all that to say she has experience and she can help us understand and get clarity around how we can get from point A to point B. She's also the creator of the Lean Out Method, the 90-day Lean Out Planner, and Simplify to Scale. So Crista, I need you because the burning question right now that I have in my spirit is, what is the Lean Out Method? But before we get to that, introduce yourself in your own words and tell us why you are excited to be here and why you're qualified to teach us what you're getting ready to teach us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm beyond excited for our chat today. And yeah, I'm Crista Grasso, and I'm a lean business scaling expert. I'm a systems expert, and I love all things strategic planning. And I've been doing this for a little more than 20 years now. And as you shared, I've been working with some of honestly the largest businesses in the world. My most recent client was a Fortune 10 client. And I got to travel internationally to work with them, which was a lot of fun and really
Yeah.
great. But I also work with small businesses and entrepreneurs, and I absolutely love to help people to be able to simplify, to be able to scale, and to get to that big, bold vision that you have, but in a simple, direct way that does not require the 24/7 hustle, which I started there. I tried that route. It's not the fun way to go. There are better and simpler ways. And so I think, my personal mission is really to help people be able to build the business they want and not the one they feel like they have to have because of so much of what they hear that you must do this, you have to do this, you can only do
Right.
it this way. In your industry, this is what's required. Because I made all those mistakes early on. And so now I just want to help other people get where they want to go as quickly as possible.
I love it. And you know what? I feel like, I'm sure you can attest to this, that the scope or the landscape, I'll say, of business has changed so much over the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. So to your point, what we used to need to get to that 6-figure mark is not necessarily what we need today. And so I feel better already just being on the line with you, because what you're saying is there's hope. There is hope. And you use two words together that really also give me a tingly feeling: simplify and scale. And I'm just like, yes, I would like to do both. so so tell us about this lean out method. What is it? Why is it important? Where did it come from?
Yeah, absolutely. So lean is actually a concept that grew up in the manufacturing space. It's been around for a long time. It's all about increasing value for your clients and eliminating waste, right? And if you think about any business, what do you want to do? You want to provide as much value as possible. You want to generate as much profit as possible. And you don't want to waste your time, money, energy on things that do not matter.
Precisely.
So what I did was take this concept that all of these really large multi-billion-dollar businesses leverage, the ones I was consulting with, and broke it down into something that small businesses and entrepreneurs could benefit from and leverage. So I describe it as lean plus lux. That's what the lean out method is all about. It's none of the things that drain you. It's none of the things that don't help you add value for your clients, profit for your business, or that aren't in alignment and fulfilling for you. But the lux piece of it is doing those things that fuel you and really helping you get ready to leave whatever that legacy is that you want, whatever your values, your vision, your big mission is, more of that and creating the space for it, by getting rid of all those things that are keeping you distracted and busy all the time so you can't actually do what you're here to do.
Whew, you are speaking to me. I was going to say to the listeners, listen, get what you need to get from this interview, but this is for me. Okay. That is awesome. That is so awesome. So, as a new entrepreneur, let's say,
Mhm.
how would you even go about implementing this thing? Like, what does the process look like when someone comes to you and says, hey, I have all these things going on, and this is what they look like. They have all these things going on. What does it look like to introduce the lean out method to a new client?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me walk you through the 4 pillars and how they fit together, because you're going to use these whether you are on day 1 of your business or whether you are on day, 5,001 of your business. It's all applicable. You just apply them in slightly different ways based on where you're at. But the very first thing, and this is the one that I see a lot of people skip, is context. You have to know where you're going and why it's important. So I think it's absolutely critical that everybody has that clarity of vision. And you may not know exactly what the future holds, especially if you're on day one in your business, but you should have some idea of what you want and what you don't want. And I think you have to have that clarity of vision so you know what things are directionally correct. That's the way that you can lean out, right? We lean out by knowing the things that aren't in alignment. Well, you can't know what's in alignment if you don't have a vision. So I think it starts with getting clear on where do you want to go? What's important to you? When you look at your business, what do you see for the future of your business? When you look at yourself, what do you see for yourself from a personal lifestyle goal perspective, and also your role in the company and what you want to be doing? And then when you look at your clients, what are your clients of tomorrow? What are your clients look like in the future? And so context starts with that vision, and then you break that down into your near-term goals. So you've got long-term, what does it look like? Short-term, what should I be focused on now? And it also gets at your business model. And I think one of the biggest areas that I see people make a mistake at all stages of business is they have a business model that's more complex than it needs to be, and it's not actually going to take them to where they see for their
Oh
vision.
my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now that is a true statement, and it's also very intriguing, because at the end of the day, we all just want to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all just want to win. We want to make the revenue. We want to make an impact. We want to, create legacy for our families. And there are these pitfalls that we either stumble into, or we're not willing to change our ways and learn a new thing to do things a nicer way or a simpler way. And so we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot in that way, I feel like. So let's talk about this simplification process, because I'm sure when you come and sit down with a new client, they're talking, but you're hearing what's really happening behind what they're saying. They're saying, this is my vision, but then you're looking at what they have going on and you're like, this does not look like the vision. So there's a disconnect between what you want to do and where you want to be versus where you're going. Right. And so let's unpack that a little bit more, maybe with a live example or a situation that you've worked in where the two didn't align and you were able to kind of help them rearrange and get right.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you've got your context, the next pillar is clarity. And that's where you make sure that your vision and your strategy connects to your execution. And to exactly what you said, a lot of times it doesn't. And what I find is people either don't have a vision and goals, or they do, but they treat it as a separate activity, as looking at what they and their team, if they have a team, do on a day-to-day basis. It's like they set the vision and goals, put it on a shelf, and then each day they're in firefighting or reactive mode. They're looking at their inbox. They're looking at what needs to happen. And you really want to start with the vision. You want to break it down to the goals. You want to break that down to the work that you're doing. And you want everything that you do to connect back. And one of the things that I think is so important is, as entrepreneurs, right, we're natural visionaries. We are amazing idea generators. Yes. And a lot of people will not plan because they say, I'm not creating a 90-day plan. Then I'm going to lock myself in. What about these great ideas that I have?
You understand me.
And so I actually, in the lean out method, the whole way that I created it specifically for entrepreneurs and small business owners is we create space for innovation. We create intentional space for innovation. So you know that you're working on the most important things. You know your day-to-day activities are connected back to your vision, but you also have set space to go and pursue those ideas. And I help people evaluate which ideas are the good ideas and which ideas aren't. I call it the $1 million idea evaluator, because we all have them. So how do you know which to pursue and which not to? And what's more important than what you already said you're going to do, or that you should be creating space for?
That is so good. Creating space for innovation. Even as a creator, that makes me excited, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, we don't just have our business. We have our families, we have our personal selves, we have friends, we have organizations, we have ministries. There's different things that we're a part of. And so if you are a creator and a problem solver, outside of your business, people are pulling on you and you're doing all these different things. And so like you said, being a firefighter and being reactive, right? So I'm doing all these things outside of the business. And I'm like, oh, I got an idea. And then I jot it down really fast. And then when I get another minute, I'm like, let me brainstorm that idea right now, really fast. And I think really hard. And then I have like a brain vomit, and then I put it aside, and then I forget about it. And then I find it 2 weeks later, like, oh yeah, that idea. And it's just like this, this crazy dysfunctional thing. And like you said, I know I have $1 million ideas. I know, like, I see it. It's great. It's grand. And like you said, we're spinning our wheels doing non-revenue producing activities. We're spinning our wheels kind of like in the opposite direction. The vision is that way. And because we're busy, we feel like we're being productive, but busy and productive are two different things. And so I'm like, okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. I'm picking it up and it's sounding really good. And so for those of us who now, let me literally on the edge of my seat, right? Now that we have a piece of the framework, right? What would you say would be the biggest hindrance? Some of the hindrances that pop up, right? Because I think we come up to these like mental walls, these internal things that stop us from embracing the simplification, embracing this decluttering of our mind and our ideas. So what are some of the walls, the internal walls that come up in this process?
100%. And the next pillar is commitment, because you do need to make the commitment to keep going. And the thing that gets in the way of that more than anything else is exactly what you said, it's mindset. And I always, when I'm working with my clients, I prepare them for the fact that this is coming. And I'm like, we're going to create this great plan. You're going to commit to making changes. And then here's what's going to happen. The yeah buts are going to come up. You're going to be fired up at the moment. And then the next day, the next week, the next month, as you're trying to actually let go of the things that aren't actually going to take you where you want to go when you look at the future. And as you start to commit to some of the changes, or maybe some of those things that are way outside your comfort zone, all of a sudden you're going to be like, yeah, but I mean, I can't stop doing that because my clients would be really disappointed, or yeah, but I'm just not the kind of person who's ever really going to do a good job with that. So I'm not going to include that. And it's the yeah buts that get us every single time, because we can be fired up and committed in the moment, but it's really hard to sustain that level of commitment and that level of motivation throughout the course of 90 days, a year, sometimes even a full day, never mind a full 90-day period. Yes. And so that's what people end up bumping up against, is themselves and their own internal limitations. And we do an amazing job of convincing ourselves that things are fact that are actually not. Like for years, I convinced myself that I was terrible on video, so that I shouldn't use video. Video just wasn't something I should do, because I'm just not a video person. I'm great on video. But
wait, what?
But I get it. I get convinced.
it. Yeah,
it was a fact.
I get it.
Yeah, it wasn't a perception. It was a fact. I was bad on video. It's like, It was just, well, that's just who I am. I'm just not a video person. So therefore, I'm going to go about this in a different way. And it took kind of getting over myself to realize that by not going on video, I'm not getting my message out. I'm not helping my clients. I'm kind of holding back information that so few people have, because there's not that many people that work with the level of clients that I work with. And why, like, I need to get over myself and show up for my clients and for the people who need to hear what I need to hear. And it turns out I wasn't actually bad at video. I just convinced myself I was.
Isn't that amazing? And so I feel like, talking about our ability to be authentic and knowing ourselves, right? You had to at some point say, oh, I'm doing this to myself. It's not a thing. And so it's so true and it's so real. And like you said, we have to push through and just do. And it's hard, and the thing is, I'm wondering where those things even start, where they come from, because I have two things that I would tell myself. One was, I'm terrible at math. Like, math is just not my thing. Meanwhile, I'm getting straight A's and, I can do math with the best of them. But like in my head, I'm like, no, if it's math related, no. And it's like, where did that come from? The other thing is, you're not good enough. So there's been this, you're not good enough in every area of my life, as a mom, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as a preacher, as all these different things. And I have that playing in my head. And it's like, what? Like, where did it come from? Because meanwhile, I'm assuming to your point as well, people are like, you are amazing. You're fantastic. I love what you did. And on the inside, we're like, no, 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 no. So what are some of the mindset things that you kind of take your clients through to help clear those hurdles?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the biggest things that worked for me that I find also works for my clients is making it not about you, but making it about the impact that you want to make and why you're showing up. And it was me getting over myself and
Yeah,
saying, if I'm not showing up on video, I'm actually holding back from helping the people who really need to hear what I have to say. And so with my clients, usually what we'll do is we'll just dive in and I say, but what is your actual outcome? What is it that you're trying to achieve in your business? You know, why are you trying to do it? What's the impact that you're trying to make? What's your legacy? What does that look like? What's your driver? Like, why do you do what you do? What's the income outcome you want to achieve? But why do you want to achieve that outcome? What is it going to give you? And then we tie it back to, and by not making this decision or by holding yourself back from doing this, how much longer is it going to take you to achieve that result? Or can you even achieve that outcome without it? And so sometimes it's just reframing it and making it not about the thing they're struggling with, but getting them laser focused on why they are doing what they're doing that
right.
allows them to push through. Because we often won't do things for ourselves. We should, but we don't. But we will do things for other people, whether
Yep.
it's our clients, whether it's our family, whether it's our community, whatever that is that fuels us. We'll show up and push ourselves for those things, but we won't always push ourselves for ourselves.
Absolutely. Ladies, as you are listening, I want you to comment and find the timestamp for this moment, comment and say amen. Okay. That's all you need to say because it is so true. And especially for women in business, we carry that into every area of our lives. And so ladies, you can take that same, what she just gave us, that same practice and apply it with things outside of your business, reframing it, putting it where it's supposed to be and focusing on what you're supposed to focus on, not those negative things that are pointing at you and telling you why you can't or why you're not. So that was awesome. Thank you so much for that nugget. So let's pivot a little bit here. Let's talk about some of the most important systems to implement in your business. So I've gotten clarity. I gotten context. I've gotten the clarity. I have gotten my commitment together, right? Did I skip one or am I doing good?
There's one more.
Ooh, yes. So after I've done that, like where do those systems fall into? Is that the next space or where do systems come in?
Yeah, so systems run, they're kind of the stream that runs through everything, but they really fall pretty deeply under commitment, right? If you're going to show up, you're committed to the outcomes that you want to achieve, you're committed to that vision that you have. Well, the commitment is also doing things in the most efficient and most effective and direct way to get there, even if it's something that doesn't naturally excite you, right? I happen to love planning and systems. I could plan all day long. I could create systems all day long. It is my happy place. I know for a lot of visionaries, it's not, right? They want to be off creating. They want to be off coming up with new ideas. They love things like marketing and sales. They don't love things like planning and like systems. But recognizing that those are the things that are going to actually allow you to have a sustainable business, one that's not 100% dependent on you, where you have to hustle your butt off and work
That
24 by
part.
7.
Yes.
Right. And so part of commitment is committing to do what you really need to do to achieve what you want in business and surrounding yourself with the right team or the right people to support you. If it's not your natural strength or passion, it still is what's going to enable you to get the results that you want. So it does run through all of them, but it's
Sure.
also very embedded in the fourth pillar, which is Kaizen. And that's a lean concept, which is all about making continuous improvement and changes for the better in your business. And systems also enable that and give you the insight that you need to be able to make those changes and those continuous improvement efforts.
That is phenomenal. I am that visionary who will create all that. I'll create the systems. I will create the mess out of a system. On paper, it'll look beautiful. It'll have check boxes and bolded areas and graphics. So I'm also a graphic designer. Like it'll be beautiful. But then when it comes time to execute, I'm like, Yeah, but that's where my yeah buts show up when it comes time to execute the systems. And so but you make a good point in that it's the systems that are going to really get you to the scaling place, not necessarily the other things that are more fun. And so I guess that's a mindset shift that we have to make. There's really nothing that we can buy or anything like that other than shifting our mindset to understand and appreciate the value of those systems. And as my mentor, she preached on Sunday about being willing to pay the cost, right? For whatever it is, for that success. And the cost for the success that you want is implementing those systems. That's one of the costs, embracing the learning curve that your team might incur with bringing the system into place, embracing that trial and error period that comes with putting something in place and then actually working it to see if it's actually going to work. And like you said, with that Kaizen, making those changes and those improvements so that the system is perfected so that it can get you to where you need to go. So this is awesome. This is so awesome. So tell us then, first and foremost, I guess, obviously you work with a range of client types. So give us your client types, because I know there are people like me who are listening right now, like, okay, so how can I work with her? How can I get connected?
Absolutely. I do. I work with a very wide range of clients, all the way up to the multi-billion-dollar Fortune 10 clients. And I love that range. I love getting to see and help and dig into somebody's business at all of those different levels. It's so exciting. But for somebody who is really, truly just starting out, I think the best place to go is my podcast, because I give like, just like you, right? A lot of the information that I share on that is really pretty advanced strategies and things that help you to cut through noise. And then my planner is for businesses of all different levels. When people are at that place where they've already broken through six figures, they've got something that's working. They've got an offer that people want. They've sold it enough and people have gotten enough great results that now they really want to experiment with, how can I truly scale my business and scale this up? That's where I really dig in, and I have my Simplify to Scale program. And I think anytime you want to scale, first you simplify, then you systematize, then that enables you to scale. And so that's a lot of what we do in that program together, is we look at what is all the noise and distraction and unnecessary complexity, what needs to go. And then with the things that are left, where do you want to get repeatable results? And let's systematize those things so that you're getting the results and you can repeatably and predictably be able to get those results. And then we look at where you can scale. And then I have done for you implementation services that I do for much larger companies as well, where I'll come in and we'll facilitate all of your strategic planning on a quarterly, monthly basis. We'll actually implement the systems. We'll set up your project management tool, and we base it on our lean strategic planning system, but we do all of that for larger companies.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I'm so excited for you and for our listeners to get connected. I'm a podcast person, so I will be definitely tapping into your podcast and checking that out. So what, I guess, well, you mentioned the podcast is kind of the low-hanging fruit, if you will, like that we can get access to right now. Where can we find you online? Where can we follow you on social? Tell us.
Yeah, my website is leanoutmethod.com, and that is your hub to all things Crista. But if you want to go directly to the podcast, you can go to leanoutpodcast.com. And Instagram is my happy place. It is where I hang out. So if you want to follow my personal account there, it's Crista Grasso, Cristagrasso. And that's where you get a little behind the scenes on what's going on in my world. Lots of dog pictures in my stories, and then a whole lot of great business strategies in my feed.
Awesome. Awesome. Crista, this was amazing. I was trying my very best to keep us within that 25-minute range, because we could literally be here for a long time. I might need to bring you back for like a part 2, just so like we could really, I really want to dig into each of the pillars a little bit more. But that'll have to be another conversation for another day. And so ladies, I know that you got something out of this. I hope that you took some notes, and I hope that you are going to at least, at the very least, check her out on her podcast, because there is a wealth of information there. I already know. And Crista, I want you to hear from me. I need you. Okay. I need you. I am almost like embarrassed to like show in my phone the notes upon notes upon notes of ideas. And, I start thinking through something and brainstorm something through, but not seeing it through to completion because I have so many ideas. And to your point, it feels too big. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like the mountain is all the way over there. And it's like, how am I going to get there? I'm going to go have some Chick-fil-A, instead. So I am grateful to be connected to you. Thank you for the work that you do and the passion that you have, and just your joyful disposition. I really enjoyed speaking with you today. Ladies, make sure you connect with both of us online, and we will see you next time for another episode of the Brittany Smith Podcast. Bye. And cut.
Oh my God, you are so good.
Thank you so much. This was
amazing.
Awesome. I'm sitting here listening to you like, yep.
There's so much more. Yeah, we could talk forever, but I realized after I answered, I'm like, I didn't give her like a real world example. I should have told her about Jen. So I totally could dive in at any level of detail that you'd like if you ever want to chat again.
Yes, no. So I have a Facebook group called the Female Coaches, Consultants, and Content Creators Group. And I want to put together a summer series of experts. And so you can literally, like, it'll just be you taking the floor and you can just do your thing for like 20, 25 minutes or more, however long you feel, honestly. And, you'll be able to pitch and share whatever products you want to share and that kind of thing. And it's just free content to help the community. Yeah. So if that's something that you're open to, I can definitely, send you the information for that. I want it to be like all summer long. So I'm looking for people to kind of plug in each week, to kind of just, great. Yeah. And then another opportunity, so my pastor is also a business coach. And she has this thing called the VIP Lounge for speakers and entrepreneurs.
Good name.
Yeah. And she actually interviews experts each month as well. And so she's always looking for people to interview. So I'm definitely going to recommend you to her for one of those slots as well. So we are going to stay connected. And I'm going to look through, I'm assuming you have like a consultation situation or an inquiry form or something. I'm going to fill it out because you nailed it in terms of just that being in a web of ideas and just not making any movement because it's just a lot.
I just popped my super private link to my calendar out there for you. So if you ever want to, you can just literally put a coffee chat on my calendar.
I'm going to do it now, today.
Yeah, we can chat. Next week, I am going to Necker Island. I'm so freaking excited. So next week I'm off the grid, but then I'm back. Yeah. And we can chat anytime starting June.
That's beautiful. Good for you. Ooh, good for you. That's not what I wanted to do. I was trying to copy and paste it, but for some reason it's not allowing me to.
Oh, yeah, it's coffeewithcrista.com, just no H in my name. I love vanity URLs. They're like my favorite thing on earth.
Yeah. Listen, and I'm sitting here loving your branding. And how, the lean out plan, the lean out method. Like, I love that as a branding person. I'm just like, oh, yay.
Thank you. I know. I was looking at your website beforehand, of course. We have to officially stalk each other.
Yes.
All of your stuff is so good.
Oh, I really appreciate that. And so, to hear that from someone like you, it really does, I appreciate that. And so you can see the potential that's there, but I'm not getting the return from all the stuff that I'm doing. And so that is where I feel like the context and the clarity are not aligned. Well, the context is there's something missing. There's a disconnect. So that affects my ability to be committed because I'm not 1000% sure of the direction that I'm going in. There's a lot in me. I'm a writer, I'm a singer, I'm a preacher, I'm a this, I'm a that. I do all these things and I'm like, I just want to give it all to the world. And that's why I'm still sitting in this this spot.
No, I get it though, because I think being multifaceted, right? That's kind of how I refer to it, which I am. I have 3 businesses, right?
Yeah.
And so I think when you're multifaceted, it's really hard because we never want to put ourselves in a box. We're
Right.
never going to do one thing one way only, but we still need to focus. And so
Yeah.
it's like, how do you stay focused, but still be us and not lose who
Yes.
we are? Because that's the quickest way to lose our interest in what we're doing.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
I get bored and then I start another great idea and it's just like,
Of course. But I think that's the beauty and the curse of being that multi-passionate, multifaceted person
right.
is we do have to be moving. We can't be that like laser focused, super boring. That's where the lean plus lux comes in. Like you need the
Yes.
lux piece. If it's just
Yes.
lean, we're out. Right. So
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to get on your calendar for sure.
awesome.
Because I really believe that we can help each other. Probably you more than me, but we can
I'm sure you could do plenty for me. I have no doubt about that.
this was so awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And
Thank
we will be in
you.
touch. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Take like a really long nap just for me.
Yes,
Like, before you go down, say, this one's for Brittany. It's just
you got it. Thank you again so much for having me on the show. I'm so glad we got to connect, and I look forward to chatting with you in a couple of weeks.
awesome. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.